All right, green architecture. This is instruction for activity 1.6 where you'll be estimating flooring materials. By now, you should have watched the video that talks you through the flooring materials, talks about the different materials that you might use and their application for them. If you have not completed that at this point, please go back and complete that. Watch that in Schoology prior to attempting this assignment, or you will have difficulties with this. So, the introduction to this one: how do we use mathematical equations like the formula of area in real life situations? Today, you will practice in an activity that allows you to choose the flooring for a home and then calculate the cost. Balancing your budget is a key component to success. Most of us have a strict budget and need to choose affordable materials that allow us to live within our means. And my guess is that your families have some sort of a budget based on your family's or your parents' income. So you can't always go and get the most expensive everything. You have to plan accordingly. There's some good alternatives in the flooring area as we get there. So continuing down, when calculating the area of a room, often you have to take into consideration both the feet and the inches. And when converting to fractions, it is important to remember that feet and inches use the base numbers of 12. This is just a quick review of what we've done already. If we have a number like the room is 12 foot 3 inches by 8 foot 9 inches, we know that that is called architectural notation. We also know that we have to convert that to decimal feet before we can multiply it. So what we do is take the 12, leave it alone actually. The 3 inches, though, we have to convert to decimal feet. So 3 divided by 12, if you remember our lessons on calculating and converting decimal feet from architectural notation, we take the 3 divided by 12, becomes a decimal, in this case 0.25, and becomes 12.25, and that's shown right here. And then we have to take the 8 feet 9 inches. Again, we leave the 8 alone, but the 9 we divide by 12, kind of like it's shown here, and that becomes 8.75. Then we can easily multiply, as you see in the situation here. The area of 12.25 times 8.75 gives you 107.1875 square feet. Now, I would suggest as we work through this, and I even have that in the instructions, to round this number up. If we don't have 108 square feet, we for sure will run short. If we buy 107, we're not going to have enough flooring to complete our project. So in this activity, you will learn to choose flooring that best suits your tastes and the best material for the function of the space and is the best material to fit your budget. You should also consider sustainability. In other words, when choosing your resources, is this something that's going to last, something that when you dispose of and put in the landfill, is it going to sit there for years and years and years, or does it naturally decompose? A good example: plastics, things like vinyl tile, carpets, they don't deteriorate near as quickly as wood does. So that's the sustainable part of that. And that's part of the green part of green architecture that we want to consider. So don't just consider the material itself, but also think about where it comes from, how far it travels, whether it has a renewable resource, and so on. So you should be using your notebook. Hopefully you've taken some notes when you watch the PowerPoint video of some of the budgets that you might consider, some of the floorings you might consider, and then you'll choose a budget card below. So the first step, you get to choose the budget or the career of the budget that you want to work with. So I've got, I guess it's about 12 different careers. Nurse, for example, their flooring budget might be $2,750. So choose a career that you would want to work in someday. And there's only 12, but choose one of the 12 that might suit you most closely, and then you'll add that to a chart. And I'll show you where that goes in. If I slide down to the actual flooring chart, I have it highlighted for you and everything. Your career budget, you'll input that right here. So you get to choose a career to work with. Then, using your notes from the presentation about different flooring materials, identify materials that you want to use in your home, choose all the options that appeal to you. Use the provided floor plan to complete the first 2 columns in the flooring estimation worksheet, and then find the room sizes and record them in the column provided. Calculate the area. Remember, area is length times width. And I put in highlighted areas here. Remember, you will need to convert your architectural notation to decimal feet to successfully calculate. Then choose a material for the specified room. You need to use at least three different flooring materials. You can't put carpet in every room. You can't put vinyl tile in every room. You have to show me that you've used at least 3 different flooring materials. Record the material in the first column, calculate the cost for the flooring material in its appropriate column, and then note when you're finding the square footage, it's important to round up to the nearest whole measurement. I think I mentioned that already, but just to emphasize that, you want to overestimate just a little, but not too much, that you have a lot left over in the end. And then calculate the flooring costs. Are you within budget? If not, redo with a different material. Your goal is to get as close to your budget as possible, but do not go over your budget. You can't spend more than the budgeted amount for that. But you don't want to go too cheap either. You want to have the best possible flooring. So these examples will help you remind you of what we saw in the PowerPoint presentation. You get to choose from them. Here is the floor plan that you're working with. I apologize that it's up and down. You can kind of just turn your head a little bit to read that, and you'll take and read these. The first one, the living, kitchen, dining area. What's the room size? Well, we'd go back up here. Living, kitchen, dining room area. Looks like it's 32 feet 0 inches by 26 0. So you would key that in here. 32 feet 0 times 26 feet 0. You can convert that to decimals either before you put it in or convert it here before you do the next part. What is the square feet of that room? Choose your material. Calculate what's the cost per square foot. That's given in the chart above for flooring. Cost per square foot is given in this chart. And then finally, what is the cost per room? All right, remember to estimate that number by bumping it up just a little bit, so we don't want to run out of flooring as we go along. Okay, cost per square foot, and then our material. What's a square foot? We probably want to round it up a little bit. If it's 107.1875, bump it up to 108, and then you'll calculate your cost for the room based on that. So you'll fill out this complete chart based on every room. Down here, you'll put in the total flooring cost for your home. You'll add all these together, put your total right here. Put your budget number down here again, and then what you need to do is subtract your final flooring cost from your budget. Then put your difference right here. Remember, you cannot go over budget. Your goal is to get as close to your budget as possible without going over. And then finally, you finish with some conclusion questions. So that is our activity for 1.6 estimate flooring. We are starting this today, Friday, and then you'll have one more day next week to finish this up. And when you're done, you submit in Schoology. All right, have fun working with some estimating of flooring. See you soon, guys.